What's going on, guys? My name is John. Welcome to New Dads, and today I'm going to talk about the Monterey Bay Aquarium and basically try to describe to you if it's worth it or not to pay a visit to Monterey's pride and joy, the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Alright, so before I get into that, I just need to I need to give you full disclosure. I need to tell you my philosophy on just spending in general, especially when traveling with kids, right? So my philosophy is basically either spend the money, like, go do the whole thing, or don't do it at all. And so what I mean by that is, if you do decide to come to the aquarium, spend the money, like do it, enjoy it, make a good trip out of it, eat at the cafe, get the whole experience, spend the whole day, read all the signs, and and soak it all in, right? Otherwise, don't do it, as in, don't come here and spend all your money buying trinkets here and there on Cannery Row. Don't spend any money at all. So basically go big or don't do anything. Don't spend money. And so, what I mean by that is, if you decide not to go to the aquarium, there's a bunch of places you can walk out here and you can get an awesome view and not pay anything. You can literally park your car in a meter, pay like $2, and come out here and enjoy the views, and you can enjoy the sea otter out on the water. You can even see the kelp and the birds flying, and you can get the Monterey Bay experience by just sitting out here. So I hope that makes sense. And so if you do decide to go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, I would highly suggest it if you're not making a trip out here just to go to the aquarium. I would not recommend planning a trip around just the aquarium. If you do decide to come out, especially with kids, don't stay any more than like 2 nights. I think 2 nights is plenty. I think 1 night is plenty. Yes, you will find things to do around here, but I don't think it's any different than, if you were to go to anywhere else, like Pier 39, or, just any pier in general, even in SoCal, right? And so if you do decide to make the trip out to Monterey Bay Aquarium, just know that, your kids best, right? If they're good at staying in one place and reading signs and being patient and, stuff like that, not whining, if they can walk all day. I don't know of any kids who are like that, but if your kid's like that, then you might consider coming out here, for a day trip. That would make sense. If you're like most kids I know, or if you have kids like most kids I know, I don't think it's worth coming out here to just visit the aquarium. With that said, it is a pretty fascinating place. You see jellyfish, you see, even leopard sharks, hammerhead sharks, turtles. It's quite intriguing and fascinating, but I just don't think it's worth a dedicated trip to come out here. So that's the, hey, if you're coming to California and you're trying to decide if you should go to the aquarium or not, like let's say you're going to San Jose or San Francisco, is it worth the trip to come out here just for the aquarium? I'd say no. Now, for the other people, if you live in San Jose or San Francisco, and you can afford to take a weekend to come out, or even a day trip to come out, just know that you'll be spending, for a family 4-pack, that's $160. It's going to be $50 per adult and $30 per kid. And so, you might consider the season pass. I made a little video on that up here. You might consider it. Basically, long story short, if you're going to come out 2 or more times a year, 2 is like the break even. So if if you come once and you love it, then I would suggest getting the season pass. I believe it's like any other, museum type place. If you buy a day ticket and you decide you want to upgrade it to a membership, I think you can do that. That's something to consider. If you live in the South Bay, like I do, and you have young kids, you might consider taking them out here, but you guys know how hard it is to get a toddler and a baby just in the car to go anywhere in general. And so, you know, it is going to be a trek out here. You know, my kids aren't the best in the car, and so I don't know if we would come out here if we weren't out here for my company, you know, summit. But you know, if you have school-age kids who are, you know, into learning, especially, you know, aquatics, marine biology, definitely make the trip out here. You know, spend the money, and even, you know, get the membership. I mean, you know, if you're gonna come out here twice a year, which, you know, it is what it is, right? I think that's all I've got to say. I mean, the aquarium is actually pretty nice. If you've got, you know, really young kids who are in diapers, you know, both men and women's bathrooms have the changing pads. They've got elevators for your strollers. They've got stroller parking areas, which is really nice. They really designed it with the family in mind, in my opinion. You know, the hallways are very wide in general. There's plenty of safe space for the kids to roam around and just run. There's no like dangerous objects that they could run and bump their heads into. And there's even a kid play area. Basically like an indoor playground for your kid to run around and, you know, put objects in different shapes together and stuff like that. So it's very kid friendly. If you've got, you know, kids, definitely would recommend it. And yeah, that's kind of what we've learned. With that said, I would say, you know, if your kid is, if you got a toddler and a baby, I mean, if you can afford the time and, you know, I guess more of the time, and you want to check it out, you know, I'd say come check it out. For us, let me just put it this way. You get the best bang for your buck if you have school-age kids and you can just come here like on a whim on a Saturday, or even, you know, if you want to stay the night from Saturday to Sunday. I'd say that's where you get the best bang for your buck, because you can, you know, you can leave on Saturday, you get here, go to the aquarium, check into your hotel, have the kids go swim or do whatever they want to do, go on a walk here, it's beautiful, ride a bike, whatever. And then, you know, have dinner on the wharf, or, you know, even on Cannery Row, or even like downtown Monterey or Carmel. There's a lot of good spots, and then go to the aquarium again on Sunday and then head home. I think that's a great weekend. That's the best bang for the buck. With young kids, you know, you're subject to nap schedules and all of that, and so how we've used it is we've come in the morning, we leave at like 7 when the kids wake up, we drive up here, we get here when the aquarium opens, and we're here for no more than 2 hours, and then we head home. So that's not the best bang for the buck, but I'd say, you know, it's still worth it from a math standpoint. And if you check out my video here, I break it down. You know, you can do transferable guests and all of that. So yeah, you know, your contributions to the aquarium are tax deductible. So they are a nonprofit. So there's that. If you know, have an affinity for saving the Monterey Bay itself, you know, the otters are really cool. You know, so if I were to summarize this video, sorry I kind of rambled, but basically if you're traveling to the area, you're not from California, and you're traveling here and you've been to an aquarium before of any kind, I don't think it's necessarily worth a trip out to Monterey, especially if you're coming from San Francisco or San Jose or even Big Sur. You know, if you're driving through and you happen to be passing, I would say spend a night and, you know, maybe consider going to the aquarium. But with that said, I don't think the aquarium has anything special, or outside of, you know, I don't think it's special. You know, I think, you know, yes, there might be more critters and sea creatures, but I don't think it's worth, you know, spending the admission fee to stop by here if you're coming to California and, you know, Monterey is not your, you know, primary destination. Now that's for the first group of people. For the second group of people, if you do live somewhat local, San Francisco, San Jose, Big Sur, you know, even San Luis Obispo, you know, is it worth the trip to the aquarium, I'd say it's up to you. Again, best bang for the buck is for school-age kids. If you got a toddler, he might like it, but if he's anything like me, he's just gonna run around and do stuff like that. I would recommend you to instead just walk Cannery Row, enjoy the lookout spots, and don't go to the aquarium. But again, if you're gonna come 2 or more times in a year, get the membership, come out, and enjoy yourself. So either, again, going back to the beginning, either spend the money, go big, make the commitment, stay for the whole day, or you know, don't bother coming. Just enjoy your the free, quote-unquote free things, enjoy the lookout spots, and yeah, that's about it. So with that said, I want to show you this view here and why I keep looking. I had the fortune of coming here with my company, and so they hooked me up with an awesome room, so I want to show you that. And this would be typical of any lookout spot that you walk for free. Like, you could get this view for free. You don't have to have a room here, so I'm going to show you that now, and hopefully you like it. So there's the outside, which is awesome view. This is the same exact view that you would get from the aquarium. You look down and you can see marine life and kelp down there. Well, I don't know if you can see it from this angle. And then you would get the waves there too. So that's what I mean. You know, you don't need to pay admission fee to the aquarium to get this. And so yeah, I think that's all I had to say about the aquarium. Hope this was helpful. And you know, if I left anything out, I'm sure I did. Feel free to comment below. And you know, we're here at least 3 or 4 times a year. So you know, if you want me to come and check something out and, you know, get a question answered, feel free to do that. But otherwise, usually we do dad-related content specifically for new dads or anybody with a soft spot for new dads. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider subscribing, and have a great day.